Agreements signed in 2020 and 2021. Number 1. European Atomic Energy Community Euratom. Extension of agreement for the exchange of technical information and cooperation in nuclear safety matters. Nuclear energy safety signed at Brussels at on August 31, 2020 and Rockville September 9, 2020 entered into force in September 9, 2020. Israel-United States Scientific and Technical Cooperation Agreement. Scientific and Technical Cooperation signed at Ariel October 28, 2020 entered into force 31 December 2020. Japan and United States Digital Trade Agreement signed at Washington October 7, 2019. Japan Philippines Space Cooperation Agreement exchanged notes at Tokyo. Kazakhstan United States Agreement regarding consular privileges and immunities. Korea United States extension of July 2, 1999 agreement relating to scientific and technical cooperation. Multilateral trade agreements. Trade and investment agreement signed at Sejong, Seoul, Bangkok, Hanoi, and Washington December 12, 2024 and 30, 2019 entered into force 1st January 2020. Multilateral joint declaration between the United States, Morocco, and Israel. Diplomatic and consular relation established signed at Rabat 22 December 2020. Multilateral protocol to the North Atlantic Treaty on accession of North Macedonia and United States. NATO agreement concerning distributed ocean sensing. Saudi Arabia United States of America agreement regarding consular privileges and immunities. SHAPE Defense Agreement. Parties United States and Supreme Headquarters Alliances Allied Powers Europe exchange of letters at Castile. Sudan United States of America Claims and Dispute Resolution Agreement. United Arab Emirates United States Agreement for Exchange of Technical Information and Cooperation in Nuclear Safety Matters. United Kingdom EU Agreement for Cooperation and Peaceful Use of Nuclear Energy. United Kingdom United States of America Agreement on Mutual Recognition. Morocco United States of America Memorandum of Understanding on Import Restrictions. Russian Federation United States of America Extension of Treaty of April 2010. Japan United States of America Defense Cooperation Agreement. Turkey United States of America Memorandum of Understanding on Import Restrictions. UAE United States of America Agreement regarding consular privileges and immunities. Structure of United Nations and its subsidiaries. United Nations. The UN is an intergovernmental organization aiming to maintain peace and security, develop friendly relations among the nations, achieve international cooperation, and be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. It is the world's largest and most familiar international organization. The UN headquarters on international territory is in New York City and has other main offices in Geneva, Nairobi, Vienna, and The Hague. Structure of United Nations. The main bodies of United Nations are General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice, and the UN Secretariat. All were established under UN Charter when the organization was founded in 1945. General Assembly. The General Assembly is the main deliberative, policy-making, and representative organ of the UN. All 193 member states of the UN are represented in the General Assembly, making it the only body with universal representation. Each year in September, the full UN membership meet in General Assembly Hall, New York, for the annual General Assembly session. The general debate, which many heads of the state attend and address decision on important questions such as those on peace and security, admission of new members, and budgetary matters require a two-thirds majority of the General Assembly. Decisions on other questions are made by simple majority. The General Assembly each year elects a General Assembly president, serve a 1 year term of office. The Security Council. The Security Council has primarily responsibility under the UN Charter for maintenance of international peace and security. It has 15 members, 5 permanent and 10 non-permanent members. Each member has one vote. Under the Charter, all member states are obliged to comply with the Council decisions. The Security Council takes the lead in determining the existence of a threat to the peace and act of aggression. It calls upon the parties to a dispute to settle it by peaceful means and recommends method of adjustment or terms of settlement. In some areas, the Security Council can resort to imposing sanctions or even authorize the use of force to maintain or restore international peace and security. The Security Council has a presidency which rotates and changes every month. Economic and Social Council. The Economic and Social Council is the principal body for coordination, policy review, policy dialogue, and recommendation on economic and social environmental issues, as well as implementation of internationally agreed development goals. It serves as central mechanism for activities of UN system, and it is specialized agencies in economic, social, and environmental fields, supervising subsidiary and expert bodies. It has 54 members elected by UN General Assembly for overlapping 3 years term. In the United Nations Central Platform for Reflection, Debate, and Innovative Thinking on Sustainable Development. Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council was established in 1945 by the UN Charter under the Chapter 13 to provide international supervision of 11 trust territories that had been placed under the administration for 7 member states and ensure that adequate steps were taken to prepare the territories for self-government and independence. By 1994, all trust territories had attained self-government or independence. The Trusteeship Council suspended operation on November 1, 1994. By a resolution adopted on May 25, 1994, the Council amended its rule of procedure to drop the obligation to meet annually and agreed to meet as occasion required by its decision or the decision of the President, or at the request of a majority of its members of the General Assembly or Security Council. The International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ in the United Nations. Its seat is at the Peace Palace in The Hague, Netherlands. It is the only one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations not located in New York. The court's role is to settle in accordance with the international law legal disputes submitted to it by states, to give advisory opinion, legal questions referred to it by authorized United Nations organ and specialized agency. The International Court of Justice functions in accordance with its statute. The Secretariat. The Secretariat comprises of Secretary General and tens of thousands of international UN staff members who carry out day-to-day work of the UN as mandated by the General Assembly and the organization's other principal bodies. The Secretary General is Chief Administrative Officer of the organization, appointed by General Assembly on the recommendation of the Security Council for a 5-year renewable term. The Secretary General is also a symbol of organization's ideas and an advocate for all the world's people, especially the poor and vulnerable. UN staff recruitment. UN staff members are recruited internationally and locally, and the work in duty station and other on peacekeeping mission all around the world. By serving these causes of peace in a violent world in a dangerous occupation, since the founding of the United Nations, hundreds of brave men and women have given their lives in its service. United Nations subsidiary organizations. Number 1, World Health Organization. The World Health Organization is a specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for international public health. The WHO constitutes states its main objective as the attainment by all the people highest possible level of health. Number 2, UNICEF. UNICEF, also known as the United Nations Children's Fund, is a United Nations agency responsible for providing humanitarian and developmental aid to children worldwide. The agency is among the most widespread and recognizable social welfare organization in the world, with a presence in 192 countries and territories. UNESCO. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization is a specialized agency of United Nations aimed at providing world peace security through international cooperation in education, arts, sciences and culture. UNFAO, the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, is the specialized agency of the United Nations that leads international efforts to defeat hunger and improve nutrition and food security. Its Latin motto is Fiat Spanish. Translate, let there be bread. It was founded in October 1945. The World Bank. The World Bank is an international financial institution that provides loan and grant to the governments of low and middle income countries for the purpose of pursuing capital projects. UNHCR, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, is a UN agency mandated to aid and protect refugees, forcibly displaced communities, and stateless people, and to assist their voluntary repatriation, local integration, or resettlement to a third country. The ILO, International Labour Organization, is a United Nations agency whose mandate is to advance social economic justice through settling international labour standards. Founded in October 1990 under the League of Nations, it is the first and oldest specialized agency of the United Nations. World Food Programme. The World Food Programme is a food assistance branch of the United Nations. It is the world's largest humanitarian organization, the largest one focused on hunger and food security, the largest provider of school meals. Founded in 1961, it is headquartered in Rome and has offices in 80 countries. UNEP, the United Nations Environmental Programme, is responsible for coordinating responses of environmental issues within the United Nations system. It was established by Maurice Strong, the first director, after the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm, June 1972. UN Women, United Nations Entity for Gender Equality and Empowerment of Women, also known as UN Women, is a United Nations entity working for the empowerment of women. It became operational in January 2011. The UN Population Fund. The UN Population Fund, formerly the United Nations Fund for Population (UNFP), is a UN agency aimed at improving reproductive and maternal health worldwide. UNWTO, World Tourism Organization, is a United Nations specialized agency entrusted with the promotion of responsible, sustainable, and universally accessible tourism, having its headquarters in Madrid, Spain.